first things, I guess, if you're looking at their offense and what they did in the beginning of last year when they inserted J.T. Daniels into the line, they changed up their offense a little bit quicker pace. Do you expect them to go back to the old Georgia, or you're playing for both sides, both things you saw last year?
Whatever was good for them, they're going to have in, for sure. You know, once JT took over, obviously things were a lot more fluid, and both the running and the passing game, physical, play action, spread you out, attack you short, attack you deep. You know, they got a lot to their offense that they do really, really well, and beat a really, really good Cincinnati team to finish off, you know, the year. So, you know, they expect them to do what worked well for them last year. There's a lot that did.
Cincinnati had success stopping the run game. J.T. Daniels had a big game. They made him.
What is that big game? Yeah, 400 yards.
400 yards.
That's a pretty big game. That's a monster game, actually. 400 yards, and you know, I think Cincinnati went in and sold out in regards to the run game, and so the byproduct of that was, you know, exposing themselves in the back end. So, but gave themselves a chance to win, you know, as you saw. You know, that's. So what were you asking? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No,
I didn't let you finish. 400
yards.
yards.
They were still able to make him uncomfortable at times. What can you kind of take away from what they did?
That Georgia can win different kinds of ways. You know, they don't have to run the ball. There cannot be a better group of running backs in college football than what Georgia has. It's not convenient to say. From afar, you've kind of saw that. You know, for a number of years, they've done a great job there at having a stable of backs. That's not really surprising, and they've got it right now. That might be that's definitely one of the strengths of their football team, and but they don't have to, as you saw against Cincinnati, was not going to be, you know, was not going to allow them to run the football, and so Georgia took advantage of that and did a great job. JT, you know, handled the pressure very, very well. He throws the ball extremely well under pressure. One of the highest ratings in college football under pressure, with whatever the amount of minimum temps are, and so he's a guy that's very talented, that can make quick decisions and make good decisions under duress, and you know, throws the ball with accuracy and timeliness, and the kind of you know, arm strength that you got to have, you know, in the college game.
But from a personnel standpoint, they've lost a couple guys at tight end.
How do you know that? Did they release a depth chart that we're not aware of?
Not that I know of.
Oh,
Gilbert
well, I
went home. Another guy hasn't had surgery.
I don't know.
I think Gilbert's not with the team.
I don't even know. I don't know.
So,
They said they'd be back.
so you don't know what to expect from that position is what you're
You
telling me.
expect everybody back, you know. And whether if it's Fitzpatrick and the California freshman, you know, you got, you know, they've got, that it was a position of strength for them a year ago, and they've got a bunch of those guys back, have recruited very well. So, you know, 2 and the 3 tight end packages, we expect to see all of that, you know, and so Fitzpatrick can run. He's really, really athletic, and you know, he was the point man last year, you know, as far as the attached tight end that's going to move people, and so he's got, you know, great toughness to him. You know, their tight ends are big, long, athletic, can play in space, and they can attach and you know, bloody your nose too.
Who would you compare their offensive line to when you look at how big they are?
They're probably a lot like Ohio State, you know, as far as, you know, Notre Dame in some ways, probably a little bit more like Ohio State though. You know,
Just
they're
got
good.
size or just what
Good
they do?
physicality, you know, size, athletic ability.
Brent, it seems like you guys have a lot of experienced depth up front along the defensive line. What does that allow you to do this year?
Well, that especially outside,
Yeah.
not as much inside.
Yeah.
If you just look at the, you know, the returning experiences outside, so it's good. You know, it's a bunch of good ones. We've got a bunch of guys that are capable of starting, and you know, when we substitute, you know, we'll be able to substitute a lot more aggressively, and then when we do, you know, if any at all, not much drop off.
Which one is comparative to that 2014 group? Do you think that's a fair comparison in your mind?
You're saying that group? You're talking about defensive end?
The whole line. We just talked about
We don't have the depth inside, but we definitely do outside. I think it's comparable outside, and you know, we had a number of guys that started games on a second team defensive tackle. We don't. Y'all got the numbers. You know who started and who didn't. We don't. We you know, inside, not as much. Outside, yes.
to that point.
To that point, what he's going to follow up.
I was going to, it was me. To that point, Darian Kendrick started 23 games for the last couple of years. He has a lot of inside knowledge. Earlier today, JT Daniels said that they're not going to hesitate to ask him things. Do you have to change anything with the way you do things because Darian knows things so well?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, we haven't focused on that at all. You know, I don't know what that is. You still got to go out and play. You know, it's not like we don't do a lot. We do a lot, and you know, maybe he can give a 911 on personnel. You know, strengths, weaknesses. I'm not sure. I wouldn't know what that is, but we're just going to focus on us from that standpoint.
Brent, what do things look like behind Trent in the Sam spot right now?
Things look like so. Well, we've got Malcolm Green, we've got Barrett Carter, we've got Tamario Goodrich, Tyler Venables. We feel pretty good there. Not a ton of experience, but guys that can play.
And I guess on a related note, your dime personnel, who do you feel comfortable there?
Our dime. What's our base? Who's our base? We got to focus on the base first, and I don't. It's a good question, but I don't really get into all the personnel packages and stuff until we put something on tape, you know. And then I don't think it serves us well, Anna, to put all that out there yet, you know. But we've got, you know, a bunch of different options. You know, you look at whatever we were doing last year. Most of those guys are all back, and so you could probably expect more of the same.
What impresses you about Jermaine Burton, wide receiver?
What'd you say?
What impresses you about?
Man, he's really fast, very sudden, incredibly strong. He's a playmaker, run jet sweeps. He can run by outside. He can catch the short one and make it into a big gain. For a freshman, what he was able to do last year is super impressive. I think he maybe had been banged up some too, maybe some last year, but very impressive physically, really mature and very, very explosive. He's a dude. He's a big guy, you know, as well.
How's Nolan physically going into this week?
Yeah, he's good. You know, practiced on Friday and Saturday, so hopefully he'll be good to go.
You mentioned Barrett Carter a few minutes ago. Guy just got here a little earlier in the year. What have you seen from him so far? I can't gives you that confidence to believe in that with
Yeah,
the other guys?
he plays fast. We've lined him up at multiple positions, and he doesn't have all the details as far as the scheme, and probably can articulate his position. Not much around him, but he finds the ball. He knows the difference between run and pass. He's physical, can tackle, not overwhelmed, very humble, great anticipation, really coachable, hard worker. You know, guy that you gotta, again, a little bit behind from where maybe the mid-years were, but you can quickly see, you know, all the athletic ability, not just being a good athlete, but a football player, and understands how to use his hands, has gotten and has improved in a lot of different fundamental areas in the short amount of time that we've been here, but was well-versed coming in too. Comes from a great program, North Gwinnett, and was super well coached, and a lot of those things have transitioned with him. And so what my anticipation is that you'll see that his role just continue to grow and mature as the year goes on. And you know, fortunately for us, there's not this. You know, he's got to be a starter from day one. But I do think that as he continues to get experience and learns, that he'll make us better. You know, and can fill in at multiple positions. But I think we got him penciled in there to be a major factor as well. You know, in the special teams right away.
Coach, when you like to compare a lot of different things to Christmas Day, for you, it's 241 days since Ohio State today. Are you anxious to get that team out on the field and just see what you've got? And then do you sense out of these older guys that there is an eagerness to kind of get out there and put that last one behind you for
I don't know. You know, I think, and again, if you've been covering us since Coach Sweeney's been here, certainly, and certainly you have me. And I've always, if we won the national championship last year, I'd say the same thing to you right now that I'd say after coming off a loss, that you start over. It's a different DNA. Do you learn from that game? Absolutely. Was your pride a little hurt? Certainly. You'd be a liar if you said it wasn't. And but we don't sit around here maybe like everybody else when you're in inner workings and you're building a team for this year. You spend no time other than, okay, structurally, schematically, operationally, how you can be better from it. And so you incorporate maybe some of those thoughts and schemes and protocols, if you will. But other than that, you don't sit here and, you know, if the rearview mirror is actually small, like we say, and the windshield's big, then why would you, keep living in the past? Good or bad, So, does that answer your question?
It does.
But I don't think, this team doesn't have a lot to prove. You got a lot to earn, and you have whether you win, this weekend or you come out on the wrong end of it. This is a team that won't be defined by whatever happens this weekend. Certainly, it's not going to be defined. Last year has nothing to do with it. And but as a program, you want to. I think it's important that you, move forward, and get better, from both wins and success and from failure.
The potential of this defense has drawn a lot of comparisons to 2018, even some 2014. Right now, going into the season, based on what you've seen from spring and fall camp, what would you say is kind of the identity of this group?
Yeah, I just think it's early. There's just a lot of football to be played. A lot of growth will take place over the course of the year, and we're not anywhere close because we haven't done anything yet. Other than gone to practice. So, that'll be determined, by their body of work, throughout the course of the year. And we do have, again, a year ago we had 9 new starters for the opener, and this year we've got a bunch of guys that have started games. So that part is great, and but you still got to go earn it. You got to go work for it. You got to fight for it. You got to respond the right way. You got to handle adversity, handle success, the ebbs and the flows of a season, and certainly a game. And but I like our leadership. I do like depth at a couple of spots, and I think we have some playmakers in both the secondary and in the second level, and then up front. And we have some very elite players that are capable of playing at a high level. And but I don't really, for me personally, and we don't talk about the potential. We do talk about our good players need to play well for us to be a really good unit. And they don't have to play perfect, though. Nobody does. So that's what I would say about the potential, but we do have some guys that are capable of being, elite players in college football at all 3 levels, but we haven't done it yet. So.
Will Trey Williams be one of those guys this year?
I think for us to mature into a really good defense, we need him to mature into a really good player. He's I don't know how many snaps he's played, but it ain't been many, maybe 100 snaps. So, but we're counting on some guys to really mature. He's one of them, you know, at a position where, you know, we need to, you know, grow up that depth. You know, he's got to really mature, you know, in all the ways that you mature, not just emotionally, but, you know, physically, you know, the X's and the O's, the techniques, you know, all those things, the understanding of what we do. But, you know, he's got to be you know, I'm really excited about Trey. You know, he's had a really good fall camp, had a good spring, banged up a little bit here and there, but, you know, excited about his future for sure. Great young man.
We'll take a couple from Zoom if anybody's got one. All right, if we've got nothing from Zoom, we'll let Coach Venables go. James Kelsey will be joining us momentarily.